fall season this year has been nothing short of incredible. The sunsets have been amazing, and everything has just been so beautiful. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay, and on this morning, I am starting off the day with my adrenal cocktail. I just spilled my soda water. And I needed some extra energy on this day because I think this ended up being a big cooking day. Well, a big cooking night turned into a big cookie night. We went to go get some groceries. And so we're going to end up making some beef stew. Perhaps some bananas to put in the freezer, and cooking some short ribs. This is acerola. I definitely did not pronounce that right. It's a superfood. It's a type of berry that this company freeze-dried. And it contains, it's one of the highest containing vitamin C superfoods that you can get. Way more than orange juice. So I just added that for some extra vitamin C. And so this was our beef stew haul from our grocery store. And so I'm just browning that to add some more rich flavor to my stew. And I showed you the bananas, the big bag of bananas on the produce sale rack for $3. Now, I know in the frozen food section, they sometimes have frozen bananas packaged. And I don't know how much they are, but they're definitely more than $3. And you definitely don't get that much banana as you see here in them. So this is my little hack. I get bananas on sale, and then I just cut them up and flash freeze them so they don't all freeze together. And then I just put them in a bag after. Put them in the freezer for smoothies or whatever you want to use them for. Now, they do get more mushy. The texture is different when you freeze them. So that's why it's better to use them in baking or, smoothies. But you could have them fresh too. You could leave some out fresh to use right away. But there's so many of them, I take it as a good opportunity to freeze them. So I decided to use my Instant Pot to make this stew. And normally I brown my meat in my cast iron pan. But since I was making the whole stew in the Instant Pot, I just decided to brown the meat in there. And I think I would have used my cast iron skillet along with browning the meat in the Instant Pot just to make it go a little bit faster. Here I'm actually adding some beef liver, and I had never done this prior to making this stew, but I had put it in hamburgers and some other ground beef dishes that you wouldn't notice it as much. And so I just figured, since this was a stew, let's just try putting liver in there and see how it goes and see if we could taste it. The only thing that you could notice about the liver being in there was that it was a different texture. You could not taste the liver And that's why I try to put it in things to mask the flavor of it, because along with so many other people, I just can't stomach the flavor of raw liver or cooked liver. I don't even like liver cooked, really. But this stew was perfect to put it in, and it was the perfect way to get the great nutrients that liver provides. I mean, I'm going to do this from now on. It was such a great hack that I found. So happy that I did it. It was so good. Probably my favorite way to incorporate liver into my diet. But yeah, going back to my Instant Pot, my Instant Pot was probably the best investment I have ever made. I originally bought it to make yogurt, and I honestly didn't think I would use it for anything else. Like I maybe had an inkling that over time I would find uses for it, for sure, but I just bought it for making yogurt, and I actually use it all the time now for slow cooking, for the pressure cooking. I use it to make my applesauce. I've made rice in there, and thank God I bought that because I have struggled for a few years now to make rice perfectly. I think I've made it on the stovetop perfectly like a handful of times, and then the rest have just been struggles. But ever since I started making rice in the Instant Pot, it's been perfect every time. So I'm happy about that. And it's just such a great universal appliance to have in your kitchen. And I actually bought this one at a thrift store for $50. So I lucked out with that one big time. I mean, who doesn't love a good thrift store? Comment below what your best thrift find was. I honestly think for me it was this Instant Pot. I can't think of anything else that I scored a bigger at. So with this stew, we got a lot of beef shank because beef shank is really cheap, and some stewing meat because stewing meat always seems to be on sale, and it's perfect for using right away in something like this. And then I added some paprika, some celery salt. I added bay leaves eventually in there. I don't know if I added them in the morning because I didn't want them to fall apart in the overnight process. So this was the next morning. But at this point, I'm just taking out the bones, and then I'll let it simmer a little bit more. And then after a little bit of time, I put in my potatoes and took out the bay leaves. I just used what I had in my kitchen for this stew. So it's literally just meat and potatoes. But, you could customize it and add whatever you'd like to it. Carrots obviously would have been a good option if I had them. We did go grocery shopping the night before, but, other priorities came first. And sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you can't always get what you would like going grocery shopping. Well, at least for our family, some things are a higher priority. Okay, so I forgot about the onion. There was onion in this too. So it was meat, potatoes, and onion. Very basic. Another thing I love about stews is that they're just so nutrient dense and perfect for this time of year. You got the broth, you got all of the nutrients from the beef and the liver. I mean, it's just a perfect concoction. So, as with everything, I didn't measure anything in this. But at this point, when I put the potatoes in, I did let them cook for about 20 minutes and then checked them. And at this point, it's done. You got to do a little taste test. Now we're moving on to the short ribs. I think I have cooked short ribs maybe 3 times. And these were so good. It's probably one of my favorite types of meat. And I've only cooked short ribs maybe like 3 times. So I didn't really know how to go about cooking these. But you'll see here is that I decided to broil them, and it was such a great decision because these turned out so tender and just fell off the bone really easily. And they were just so packed with flavor and so delicious. So I started off with greasing my pan with some butter and a little bit of olive oil to prevent the butter from burning. And then I seared the meat just to give it some color and to give it some more flavor. I cooked all of this all in one pan. So when you do that, you're going to add some extra flavor into the dish overall. And it's going to be really yummy. And so here I'm just prepping my sauce. So I started off with some soy sauce, added some water, then I added some sesame oil. Now this is toasted sesame oil, but you could use toasted or regular. That's just what I had. Some garlic. I don't think I had fresh garlic, so I'm using garlic powder. And some sugar. And again, I don't measure, I just go by taste. So I give that a good stir, and then I set that aside while the short ribs are cooking. So I turn it over, make sure every side gets some color. I even especially get the fat because the fat is what's going to give the most flavor. It's going to give that buttery, delicious flavor. So when all my meat is cooked, I add in some frozen ginger. I also do this with my ginger when I buy it from the store. If I get a lot of it, I'll prep it and freeze it. And then I add in my sauce. And by adding this, it will deglaze the pan and lift off all of the bits that were stuck on the bottom and incorporate all of those flavors into the sauce. So once that has boiled a little bit, I put the ribs back in. And then I cover it and let it simmer for about 2 hours. Then after 2 hours, you uncover it and let the sauce thicken up and caramelize. And then it will stick to the meat and look like this. And you can serve it with rice. You can serve it with potatoes, coleslaw, whatever you'd like. And this was so delicious. And that's all that I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Comment below. Let me know what kind of content you guys would be really interested in seeing more of. And until next time, you can check out my Instagram page at Chasing Babies, Raising Dreams. Bye, everyone.